command line interface of the Azure. When Chavi shared some one other tools similar to the Terraform, we usually say infrastructure as code. Now, what do you mean by infrastructure as code? Infrastructure as code means that you are writing up a code to create the infrastructure. Now, what do you mean by infrastructure? Infrastructure means you are creating up the resources. Okay, you are creating up the resources. Now, what type of resources? It can be any resources. Now, what do you mean by resources? Resources means the type of services which each cloud service providers provide you. Means that, let's say we will take an example of Azure first. In Azure, you want to create some resources. Some resources means it can be a virtual machine, it can be a storage account, it can be a SQL database, it can be Databricks, it can be Kubernetes cluster, it can be Docker, any kind of resources or services which a cloud service providers provide you. You have to create those services, and those services we call it as a resources. Okay, if we have to create any services within the Azure cloud, there are multiple ways to create those resources. To create those resources, one way is we call it as portal. What do you mean by portal? Portal means the interactive session, UI session, where you log in with your account. After logging to your account, manually you can create the resources. Again, resources, it can be any type of resources. In that manual process, you have to put the inputs of the fields manually, and you have to do that again and again. Okay, for example, if I go to the portal, this is my portal. Okay, first I log into the portal.azure.com, then this page comes up, and Azure provide you all this list of services. If you see on this page, these are the all type of services which Azure provides you. So any type of service you can create manually. For example, I want to create one virtual machine. So if I have to create one virtual machine, I can search for that type of service, and I can create a new service over here, new virtual machine. I can give the inputs in this particular fields one by one, and then if I click on review and create, my virtual machine will be created. Okay, now this process is manual, and in this process we are giving the inputs of the fields manually. Now in this case, what is the disadvantage? One of the disadvantage is, if I have to create multiple virtual machines, let's say I want to create 10 virtual machines and its operating system is Ubuntu. Okay, and its operating system is Ubuntu. Now if I ask you to create 10 virtual machines of Ubuntu operating system, then if you are following up the process of portal, you have to fill the details of all the fields 10 times at least. Correct? Now in this case, if you have to create 10 virtual machines, you might take 30 minutes. Correct? Or it can be more, or it can be less. I am not defining the particular time, I am just giving you the approx time. If you are filling the fields details again and again 10 times, in the different virtual machines, I have to give this information, so it might take 30 minutes or more than that. Now, in this case, it is more time consuming. So the alternate way to create up the resources into the Azure is, another way is through the CLI, command line interface of the Azure. When Chavi shared some one might have shared one of your, when she have shared you the invitation for this meeting, she might have given you some prerequisites. In
Yes.
that prerequisites, I told her that people should have the Azure CLI on their system. Correct? In
Actually,
that
I
Yes.
tried to install these softwares, but could not install because of some uh, issues, or the steps could not clear, was not clear. So
Okay, I will tell you the steps. You can follow it then, or you might have faced the issue. This was very easy, although you might have also faced this issue because you were following those steps on your office laptop and they restrict you to install any down or download any software. So you might have to
Yes, yes,
contact the
right.
IT team.
Right.
Okay, if you have a personal laptop, then it would have been easy. Okay, now this what is this Azure CLI? If you are a developer, or if you have a knowledge of PowerShell or a command line, you might be aware that we can run the commands like Ubuntu commands, Linux commands, or you can also run the PowerShell commands for the Windows. So in that you write up the commands, correct? Let's say if I have to run any CLI command, I have to open the command prompt. Then I put the command executed and my particular action takes place according to the command. So similarly, in case of Azure CLI, in when we have this command prompt, in this one we have the default packages which Windows provide you. But if you have to communicate between this command prompt and the Azure uh, portal or Azure cloud, you need additional packages. Okay, for that additional packages you have to install the Azure CLI. If you have to work from the command prompt, you have to use Azure CLI, or if you want to use the Azure PowerShell, here is the option of Azure PowerShell. If you want a PowerShell interface to communicate with the Azure cloud, then you need to install the Azure PowerShell modules, or you can say the packages on your system, so that if you run those commands, then you can interact with the Azure. Okay. Now, in this case, if you have to create these virtual machines, you can use the command for use the commands to create the 10 virtual machines on the Azure. You can write that commands and create that. But in this case, uh, it is not fully automated. You can use up a automation in this, but in this particular CLI, if I have to define multiple fields, I have to give multiple inputs, and that is also not very much comfortable. Okay, so now the next option comes infrastructure as a code, IAC. Now, in case of Azure, you have different methods as well for creating up the IAC. Methods, or you can say tools, are available in case of Azure. One is called Terraform. Okay. And another one comes that is called ARM templates. Have you heard about ARM templates? Anyone?
Yeah, Azure Resource Manager templates, like an alternative to Terraform in the Azure world, I would say.
Correct, correct. ARM templates comes only for the Azure. This is the Microsoft product. Although in the Terraform, it's a open source. Open source, I would not say completely open source because this is a maintained and provided by the Terraform company, HashiCorp. Terraform is a product of the HashiCorp. Okay, so in that case of in case of Terraform, you can use to create the resources in any of the cloud service provider. Either it can be Azure, or it can be AWS, or it can be in GCP, or even it can be onto a private cloud. So Terraform can be used with any cloud service provider. Okay, so that's why 90% of the companies are working with the Terraform, because it is and because many clients and companies use multi-cloud system. They are working on Azure also, AWS also, GCP also. So that's why to keep the things consistent, they prefer to use the Terraform. Any questions till now?
No. From our side.
No. Okay. Now, in case of Terraform, we have a different methods to create your code. Okay. In this one, we have a file systems. So one file system says, for example, you have a main.tf file. We usually say main.tf file. In this particular file, you define what type of resource you want to create. What type of resource you want to create. And again, with the main.tf, we create one file that we call it as a providers.tf. What does this providers.tf file do? In this particular file, we define the configuration of the cloud on which you want to create the resources. For example, if I want to create the resources into Azure, I will define the Azure configurations in this providers.tf file. Why inside the providers.tf file we have to give the configurations of the Azure? Because we have to tell Terraform the code which we have written in the main.tf file. This code belongs to which cloud service providers. If it is for the Azure, then providers.tf file will have Azure. If the code is for the AWS, then we will give the details of the AWS in the providers.tf.
One point I want to know.
Yeah.
The Terraform is the part or is the tool of Azure product, or it is a third party tool?
It's a third party tool. It is provided by HashiCorp.
Okay, so what the facilities or the features this tool is providing, so that don't we have any other tool in Azure which can compete this Terraform?
Yes,
That's what I said in the last slide or the talk. In the Azure, competitor of Terraform is ARM templates. ARM templates.
Mm-hmm.
ARM templates are written in the JSON format.
Okay.
like in AWS, it is a cloud formation, right?
Yeah. So I'm specifically talking about the Terraform. So in the providers.tf, we define that the code which we have written is for which cloud service provider. Why? Because And for running up the Terraform, we have multiple commands. Terraform init, Terraform plan, and Terraform apply. Okay. When we will run the command Terraform init, it looks for the cloud service provider information in the providers.tf file. If I am giving the information of Azure, then it will automatically download the packages of the Azure on your system or the place from where you are running up this code. Okay, I will show you this. I'm just explaining right now. Later on, I will show you in the example as well. I will give you the demonstration. Okay. If I give the information of AWS in the providers.tf and I will run the Terraform init, it will download the packages of the AWS over there. So that's why providers.tf file is important. The information of providers.tf, when I'm saying of Azure or AWS, all those things we can keep it into a single file as well. But as a good practice, we always try to create up a separate file, because if I have to check some information in future, then it will be easy for me to find it out where I'm getting up the error, in which file I'm getting up the error. It's just like instead of creating up a single big file, I am just dividing that file into a small files. Okay. Then after keeping main.tf, providers.tf, we create one more file that is called variables.tf. Now in this one, what is variables.tf file do? So you know, I will be passing up the multiple inputs. Means like I have shown you when I was creating up a virtual machine, I have to define multiple inputs. Now when you define the multiple inputs, it depends what type of input it is. It can be integer, it can be string, it can be array, like you do in your coding. Similarly, in this case also, when you are writing up a Terraform code, so what type of input you have to pass for the particular field, I have to define it under the variables.tf file. Got it? Any questions till now?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will keep it till here. I will go one by one. How it goes. Now, after keeping my information in the main.tf, providers.tf and variables.tf, I can execute the command called Terraform init. What it will do, it will download the packages for the Azure, because I am running up the command for the Azure service provider. After that, I can execute the command called Terraform plan. Now, what does this command do, Terraform plan? Terraform plan command starts executing your code, which you have defined in the main.tf file. It Terraform plan just checks. It's like a validation not for the code. It's a validation that if you will perform these, if you will run this code, what all resources will be created. Okay, if any changes are there, if it is a modification is there, or it is a deletion is there, everything will come inside the plan. And once you are fine to give a go ahead, you start a command called Terraform apply. as soon as you run the Terraform apply command, what will happen? The whatever things you have mentioned inside the main.tf file, the resources, that resources will start creating into the Azure. Any questions?
No.
Any doubts? Anyone else? Okay. Now, in this system, should I first show you this execution, or should I go further and then show the execution? Tell me how you would like to go with.
Go for the execution.
Can we have a demo, Jatin? I think that would be good. Like, demo like maybe we can have a parallel session or maybe.
Okay,
either
cool.
ways.
I can do it. Okay. Let me do from here. I will first I will log into my personal account on which I want to create a virtual machine. Okay. That was a client subscription, so I don't want to play over there. So I will log into my personal account.
So we cannot go with the Copor's mail ID, right?
I don't have that, so I do it on my subscription.
For us,
I know I have to pay for my subscription, but I usually do it. Okay. Okay. Before going for that, everybody knows what is a cloud, what is a Azure, or do you need some information regarding that?
no. I know that.
What about others?
I think we are good. You can focus on the Terraform part along with Azure.
Okay. So to create any resources on the Azure, you need to have at least one subscription, correct? And that should be active. It can be free trial or it can be pay as you go. It depends upon your case. Okay. Now I have logged into my system. Now what I will do it. Although I have a code, but I will do it from a scratch so that you can also know if you have to practice on your side, how we can do it. So let's say I want to create a virtual machine. So Terraform code for virtual machine. I will search this one. So let's say this is my code which is available over here. I am showing you this one because I have a more complicated code. First I will show you this, then we will go one by one. Now in this code, either you can pick it from here or you can look for more options available into the market. So let's say this is the one. Okay, I will take it from here. It says I have to create one file providers.ts. Now in this one you can see it is mentioning first line Terraform required version. Means in your laptop when you have to install the Terraform, there will be some version of your Terraform. So they are saying to run this particular one, this code, you should have a Terraform version at least 0.12 or greater than that. If you have a version less than that, it will throw you the error. Okay, that is the required version for the Terraform. These are the required version for the APIs, and I was talking about the providers. Here from here, it is recognizing what type of file you are creating, means what type of cloud service provider you are using. So if I am giving you the Azure RM, it means it is a Azure code. Got it? Let me create one folder. In that I will keep you all the files. So my file name is providers.tf. Here is my information for the providers.tf. Now this one, what does this code do? This one code is to create the SSH for the TF. Do you want that? Why we want this file? This is required for the SSH login. If you are setting up a Linux virtual machine, then we can use this method. Or either if you want to create the Windows virtual machine, you can use this method. Then you don't need the ssh.tf. See, in this case, ssh.tf is not required. So for now, I am creating up a Windows. Okay. Then you create up a main.tf. I will explain you each block one by one. Just let me create the file first. Now in this main.tf file, as I explained earlier, you can see the first block. We always call it as a blocks. If you see the block called as resource, what do you mean by resource block? This block means that you are creating up the new resource. Okay, and here is the resource service, means in Azure, this is the service which I want to create. So I want to create a resource group. Now in that resource group, some deployment name is required. So what is a deployment name? RG is the deployment name for this particular resource group. This is required. Why we need a deployment name? Because it is useful for further mentioning or giving up a references inside your code. For example, if you see over here in this line, what does this line say? Which I have highlighted, Azure RM resource group .rg .location. So here I am giving up the reference that whatever is the location of my resource group, same location should be there of my virtual network. Okay, here I am saying resource group name. I need a resource group name. So it is saying you put get the value from the resource group .rg.name, means when I will put this value, it will look for the name of the resource group from this particular block. Got it? Any doubts?
No, no, no.
Okay. Next one, it says I need to create up a variables.tf. I will explain you main file one by one. More things are there to discuss. I will explain you. Okay. Now, again, coming back to main file. In this one, you have seen it is says a location is var dot resource group location. Now, either I can directly put the location or over here as East US, okay, or what I can do, I can call this value from the variables file. Now, instead of hard coding the value of location over here, why I'm using up the var.resource-group.location? Because if you see over here, at multiple places, if we have to define the location, I might need to hard code this value again and again, again and again. Instead of that, if I get it from the var file, then I just need to change it over here, and automatically in the main.tf file, it will pick up the same value at every place. Got it? What is the use of a variable file?
One question.
Yeah.
Is this Terraform works like TeamCity?
Now, TeamCity is a CI/CD tool, correct?
That also help to build and automate the process, the build process, deployment process.
That is a build means you are creating up the packages, correct? For that Java code and .NET code you are talking, correct? It creates a packages.
Not packages. That also helps to publish the application, the website on the production. If we have written the code.
That is a deployment.
Yeah, build and deployment, correct.
So in that there is a concept of CI/CD. What does this CI/CD tool do? Under the CI, you write a set of tasks, steps. Correct. In this task, you put up a steps like to build your code. If you have a Java code, you build your code using up a Maven and create a jar file, and then you publish that or you deploy that jar file over the servers through the CD, correct?
Yes.
But what about the servers? First, you need these servers, correct?
Correct.
Now, these servers are created through the Terraform.
Okay. So that's the basically use of the Terraform, correct?
Correct.
To
that is the infrastructure.
Okay.
Correct. So if you want to deploy this jar over the servers means it can be a virtual machine like IaaS services, Tomcat, or many more are there. Nginx services are there, correct? So
Correct.
jar is a package which you want to deploy over the servers. Some computations are required, either virtual machine, either Kubernetes, or either app services in Azure, or in case of AWS you have the app runners. So these are the services of the cloud service provider. These are the servers.
So what is, see, the for creating these servers, we have the Azure tools as well, and we had to where we can create the servers and AWS also. So why we are going for the third party tool? Is there any other good features or any other thing?
Yeah, first thing, good features. Secondly, if let's say I am a DevOps engineer, I have to create for Azure also, and I have to work on AWS as well. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Then you have to learn two tools. For Azure, you have specific ARM template, and for AWS, you have some specific tool. Then you have to learn multiple platforms. Yeah. Now, in case of Terraform, you have a common ways, and also Terraform provides you multiple more features which ARM templates or specific AWS doesn't provide you.
Okay.
More flexibility is there in case of Terraform.
That common tool we can use for multiple platforms.
Correct.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm giving you the example of a virtual machine, but you can create any type of services. Okay.
These
Now,
all files are ready files, right?
sorry, repeat again.
That main.tf, variable.tf, that
Mm-hmm.
are ready files on website of Terraform, right? Just we have to copy and whatever we have to provide that the address.
Yeah, for demo purpose, I have copied and pasted for you, but it can be more complex and it can be having up a multiple conditions and scenarios also. This one is a simpler demo, that's why I'm going like this. But the actual code, if I show you, see, this is my project code. These are the all type of services which I am creating. You can extract the code it's a common code. You can extract it, but modifications will be required from your side.
Yes, modification.
Yeah, that is a basic code which I have shown you.
Okay.
Okay, see, I will explain you this folder structure also. These are called modules. Okay. Now, in this case, if you are aware of the Azure, you must be knowing there is a resource group. Resource group is just a logical grouping of your resources. To create any resources, you need at least one resource group. So I am creating one resource group, then I am creating one virtual network. These are the virtual network which I am creating. This is required to create up your virtual machine. Okay, so I am creating one virtual network, subnet, public IP, network security group, NSG, network interface. This is the association, one storage account, and this is the main code which is creating a virtual machine for me. Okay, I can skip this code. What this code is doing, it is after installing up the or after setting up the virtual machine, it is installing the IS services over that particular virtual machine. If I don't need it, I can remove this code. It is not mandatory. Okay. Now, as soon as my code is ready, I will modify this code in later stages. First, I'm just showing you one simple demo. Now my code is ready over here. So first let me take it over here. I can run the command from the command within the Visual Studio Code, or I can go inside this folder and I will write open up the CMD. First I need to authenticate with my subscription, my Azure portal account. So I will run up a command called az login. Az login is for the authentication. So I will use this, my personal account on which I want to create this virtual machine. This is a subscription in which I want to create the resources. Now access between my command prompt and the my subscription is done. It was just to authenticate. Now I will run the first command as I told you, Terraform init. As soon as I will run the Terraform init, you can see one hidden folder got created over here. Do you see that? This folder .terraform. I can show you over here. .terraform folder got created. Now in this folder, do you see the information of providers, registry, terraform.io, HashiCorp, as your RM? This is the version. This got downloaded because in the providers.tf file, I have mentioned the cloud service provider information as Azure RM. If you would have given AWS, then AWS packages would have downloaded over here. That was the requirement for the providers.tf. Okay. Any doubts? Anyone any doubts?
No.
Actually, sorry, Aman. Yes, you can ask after you are editing.
No, I'm saying I don't have any doubts. Yeah, you can go ahead, Lavnish.
Actually, Jatin, this is the good information, but more learning, need to install the Terraform on the machine and implement some POC kind of process. So would be good uh, if you guide us that about the softwares, what we need to install, and how we can correlate that process with the uh, any application for creating server, and that server we will deploy the build via the CI/CD pipeline, or directly we will put some package over there and access that automatically, uh, some DevOps process or kind of.
Okay, I think you are a developer, so that's why you are getting confused. Uh, First
I'm
thing,
not developer, but I'm also working leading the account, but need more information about the process. How we can go for this? Suppose in my team
okay.
they want to implement, so
Mhm.
how we can involve in those activities which are performing by the team.
Okay. Can you just give me a bit information like what is your day-to-day requirement for your team? Then I will try to indulge in that.
Currently, we are only using the CI/CD pipeline for the automation process of the QA execution, the build execution, and some test cases. So the build is deploying and handling by the client. But if we are getting the activity, so how we can convince the client that we can use the Terraform to create the servers automatically, because they are doing the manual thing something over there. So if we want to present this process, like we creating the server through the Terraform and deploying the process from Azure and some other tools, as you told here, Azure and AWS. So that process will be automated, and every developer or the business or the team, they can get the build from the particular location. So kind of
Okay,
what
I
you
will
will
explain.
explain that.
Okay, so let me explain you like this. When you go for deployment, you might have dev environment, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Test environment and prod environment. To now, first thing always comes. Okay, you have the code ready. You have a code. When you write up a code, developers always test their code on their local laptop. But sorry, laptop. But when they have to deliver to the client, they always deploy this code over the servers.
Correct.
Now, these servers, when we say servers means in that servers there could be different type of services. Like I told you, VM, app services, and Kubernetes. Okay. When you deploy these services on Kubernetes, app services, or virtual machine, It's just not running up a code over these platforms. Along with virtual machines, you need multiple other type of services as well, like load balancer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You might need application gateway, okay?
Yes.
uh, and you might need multiple type of resources, storage account or databases, SQL database, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now you need all these type of services to execute your single application, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now if you have to create all those resources manually again and again, let's say when you have to do it for your dev environment, first time you have to create these resources, okay, I have done it manually. Second time also, let's say for dev environment to create up all these resources, when you send a request, they might take 4 days, okay, to
Mm-hmm.
configuration, everything, when they are doing manually. Similarly, if they are doing it for the test environment, again they might take 4 days. Again for production also they are taking 4 days. Same type of resources they are creating, but they are taking time because they are taking and doing these things manually to create all these type of resources. Instead of that, if I have to do these things again and again, let's say sandbox environment anytime, instead of that, if I spend 4 days on writing up a code once, okay, I will write up a Terraform code once and just change the variable's name, because in this case, dev environment will have a prefix like dev, QA will have QA prefix. Some naming conventions will change. Configurations, although, remains the same. Now, if this we spend 4 days to write up a Terraform code, and later on you ask me to create test environment or prod environment, I can create the same resources within 30 minutes. Now, your work, which was taking earlier 4 days, now has been reduced to 30 minutes. So, replica of work to create up the infrastructure, that is reduced.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes. Yeah.
Anyone, any questions? Now, your question was how to install the Terraform.
Yes.
Install
Yes.
Terraform on Windows. You have to download one package. Okay, I am giving you this link. You have to download one package. Usually, in the other cases, you double click on that applications and that gets installed, correct?
Yeah.
But in this case, after you download that packages like Terraform, uh, here is the package. You can see this is the zip file. You have to unzip this file, so a folder like this comes. You have to copy this folder into your C drive, okay? And you can copy it up. Then either you can copy it into a C drive or any other places also. Then you have to set it that path as a environment variables on your system. Have you if you have set it up environment variables, like you when you do it for the Java, I don't have the authentication, but you have to set the path of that particular Terraform directory inside the environment variables. Then your Terraform is installed.
Okay. So can we directly install this, or do we need to take the help from the IT team?
In office laptop, you need to take a help of IT team because you don't have that
Access
option.
permission.
Yeah.
And what about the account, this subscription? I in this in Chavi mail, she mentioned some steps that first we need to take the subscription of the Azure account, and then we have to follow some steps.
Yeah, you can purchase the Azure subscription on your side. For first 1 month, if you are learner and you want to test the things, you can create your own account and activate the subscription. You will get a 1 month free trial. Uh, After that, they will start charging you. If you can get it from your client, or you can talk to Coforge. If Coforge can provide you the some subscription, then you can work with them as well.
Okay. Okay.
Now, like you can see, my particular this folder got created when I initiated the Terraform in it. Now, if I have to create a virtual machine, I can do Terraform plan. As soon as I run the Terraform plan, it has given some error. Okay, I will change the name. I will put it something else. Instead of taking random, I will put the name. Okay. Give me a second. I have to. Actually, it is a code provided by internet, so some minor changes will be required. Um, they are using random, but they haven't defined it. Okay, one. Give me a second. Let me rechange the code. Okay. Now, after executing the Terraform plan, you can see it has given me some output. Plus green, you can see. Plus green means all these resources will be created. Plus green means all these resources will be created. In the case of, instead of plus green, if you would have seen minus and in red color, it means those will be deleted. But currently everything was new in this code, so it means everything will be created. Now if you see over here, it means 12 new things will be created, 0 will be changed, and 0 will be destroyed. If everything looks good, this is kind of a output overview. If everything looks good, I can do Terraform apply. As soon as I will run Terraform apply, it will ask for my confirmation, are you sure? And if I say yes, then automatically my resources will start creating on my Azure subscription. See, it is asking for my confirmation. I will say yes. So it will start creating up the resources onto the Azure portal. Anyone any doubts?
No.
Okay, let me refresh. Now you can see another resource group got created. This was the resource group. And inside this resource group, you will see one by one resources will show you. See, resources are getting created. Here code is running and my resources are getting created. So you can see all those resources got created in few minutes. If I would have asked you to create that manually, you might have taken more time as consideration to this automation. Here are my all resources which got created. It is still in execution phase.
Hi Jatin, one question.
Yeah.
So, how this knows like it should point to your Azure account? Do you have given any credentials or secrets here in your file?
If you have seen in the beginning, I did AZ login.
Okay.
In
So
the AZ
we
login, and that time I selected my account. Here I have selected my subscription.
Okay, thank you.
So now you can see my code is executed and 12 resources got created. Now here is my all information. Okay. Now, along with that, if I show you this code, after executing this code, another file got created, that is the state file. This file is very crucial. Why? Because next time, if I will execute my code, the Terraform code will compare three things. What it will compare? For example, there is a main.tf file. Okay. In the main.tf file, currently, let's say my virtual machine name is VM1. Okay. Now, I am talking about the current situation. Current. Okay. Now, if I change it to VM2, new name, and on the portal, what does it exist right now? Currently it is VM1. Now, what does this Terraform do with the state file? Currently, the information stored inside the state file is of virtual machine 1, and on the portal it is VM1. And the state file also have VM1. Now, but I have changed its name to VM2. So what will happen when I will rerun this code? It will first check what changes you have done. So it will find that VM2, the naming has been changed. VM1 has been removed. So it will delete the VM1 and it will create a new virtual machine by the name of VM2. So state file is very much important because always Terraform code compares the versions, the current and the new. If it finds something new, then it deletes the old one and create a new. If it doesn't find any changes, then it keeps the old one, or you can say it keeps the things unchanged. For example, I will show you. If I run it now, let's say Terraform plan, it will first check the state file and show you if is there anything to change in my file or everything looks good. So currently you can see one change that is also on the password, nothing else, just over here. Beside this, everything is same. But if I change the virtual machine name now, let's say I will change the virtual machine like VM2. I'm changing the name and rerun the same command. It will show you that the older one will be destroyed and new virtual machine will be created if you run the Terraform apply command. So that is the use of a state file. It always compares from the older version with the newer version. Any questions? Now you can see over here, one will be added and one will be destroyed. And what will be added and what will be destroyed? You can see over here, it will be replaced, means it will be destroyed and recreated. What will be recreated? The name over here has been changed, so that's why it will be destroyed and new virtual machine with a new naming convention will be created.
So Jatin, it automatically identifies the changes. Is that
Yes.
what? Okay.
Okay. Now let's say I the machines or the resources which I have created earlier, I want to destroy it. So that's why I'm keeping the older name. Okay, I want to destroy all the resources. Now to do that, I will run the command called Terraform destroy. This will delete all my resources from the Azure portal. Some network issue, let me retry.
And Jatin, could you please share the link which you're trying to, the demo, that Microsoft link which you're having? If you could
Yeah.
share it. Yeah. Thank you.
This is very basic thing which I am showing you, just a simpler demo. But there is a huge concept behind this Terraform as well. In this way, you can also create a modules. Modules is a like a directory like structure. If you see on my this page, this is a project one. If you see over here, I am creating up the modules. Modules means I am creating the folder for each type of services, and then I'm calling that particular module from the one single file. Now, what is the advantage of keeping up these modules? For example, there are multiple type of folders are created. Okay, and I want to create just Databricks, for example. So I will call only the module of Databricks. Beside that, I will keep things then and there only. So it will only create the Databricks and other resources will be not created. And other advantage of creating the modules is it is easy to understand and easy to execute. So let's say like this, if you have a coder or if you have some knowledge about this coding part, you might have seen if you create one single file for each type of information, then your file becomes so huge, correct? And finding the details out of that file becomes so complicated. Instead of that, we try to divide that file into a smaller parts, and then we call it from a single main file, so that if we get any error, we can easily identify which line number and which place we are getting up the error, and we can solve it. So that's why we use the concept of the modules. Okay. So here, if I want to delete the resources, I can say yes, I want to delete it. It will start destroying my resources from the Azure portal. Okay, I will show you one example. In my current example, I have created only one virtual machine, correct? Now, this is the code in which I am saying for each virtual machine configuration, create one virtual machine. If you see over here, it means if I want to create a multiple virtual machines, let's say I want to create 10 virtual machines, then I will define the name of the 10 virtual machines and it will create over there. So let's say in this one, I'm saying for each virtual machine configuration, if I go over here, in my file, you can see this place virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2. So it means currently I am creating up the two virtual machines. Let's say I want to create one more virtual machine. Just I will simply put one more over here, say VM3, put it a code like naming convention and execute this code, then my one more virtual machine will be created. Okay, just adding up the 4 line of code can create my one more virtual machine instead of doing that process manually again and again.
And if we remove one of the code, Jatin, then it will delete the virtual machine. Is that
Yes,
also true?
correct. That will delete because it will find that something has been removed. So it means it is not no longer required.
Yeah, but I have tried Terraform in one of my POCs. I was trying to create a GitHub repositories, but uh, it eventually gave an error actually. I don't know. It has been some time. Then I used the import command in Terraform, import module. So I was just trying to, double check with you if division can delete the infra also, then maybe I need to revisit it and let it check again.
Yeah. You can tell me which one, what you were trying to do, and then I can look over there. Import command, like we have 3 commands, many more commands are there for Terraform. Import command is used, for example, if I have already created few of the resources onto the Azure manually,
Yeah,
and I want to bring its information inside the state
state
file,
file. Yes, yes.
then you use up the import command.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to play around. Like, I deleted one of the GitHub repositories from the remote, and then I tried to, have the Terraform, update, basically import. So it ran into an error. I don't remember the exact error name, but it is like something not found, something like that. It said. So I need to revisit my code. I was trying to achieve it via like a CI/CD pipeline to create the GitHub repositories, but I couldn't do so at that point of time. So I'll check it and maybe I can reach out you one on one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. That was very basic, which I have taught you today. If you have liked it and if you are eager to learn more, let me know or Chavi. Then we can have more session in detail. Then we, if any particular request or anything you want to learn, let me know. Or if you have any questions or doubts, you can ask me.
Just one more thing, Jatin, before I leave. So I know we have discussed multiple alternatives for Terraform. We have AWS CloudFormation, we have ARM templates, and I know if we go with multiple clouds, Google Cloud will have something of its own. But I was just curious, and I was reading it the other day. I have been hearing a name of Pulumi nowadays. So just curious if you got a chance to check on Pulumi, or what are your thoughts about Pulumi as the IAC tool? If you have worked on it or
No, no, no. So,
no?
truly speaking, I haven't worked on that. So, I can't give you much update on that side or any
No
inputs.
issues. No issues.
Yeah, I have worked on ARM templates and these Terraform mostly.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions or doubts related to your project or anything? No? Okay.
Jatin, for the installation and some setup in future, can we connect if would require your help?
Yeah, sure. Otherwise, if you raise a IT ticket, they will help you out. They know how to do it. Uh, because
No,
we
for the
don't have the
installation they can help. For the installation they can help. I'll do it myself. Connect with them. but for some implementation or some POC. So can we
Yeah,
connect if would require your help?
correct.
Yeah,
You can. Yeah.
yeah,
So
thank you.
yeah, in this process, I have done the thing manually. Even the running the command Terraform init plan and apply, I have done it manually. For this also, you can create a pipelines, CI/CD pipelines. Like you were talking about the team CD, so you will create a separate pipeline. That pipeline will work to create your infrastructure and servers.
Correct.
So if I talk about the flow will be something like this. First, you will create the Terraform code. Okay. In the code, you will define the code to create the services or servers. This is your first pipeline 1. Okay. Second pipeline would be, this is one. Second pipeline will be to deploy your code into the servers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the Terraform concept works. First, you create the resources. Then, to after creating the resources through the pipeline, you deploy you build your packages, and then you deploy your code onto that servers, which was created through the Terraform. And the biggest advantage of the Terraform is, for example, in your team you have 10 people. Okay. Now you have a new joinees as well, and some experienced people as well. If I already have one virtual machine, okay, and you ask your another team member to create a similar virtual machine, what they usually do, they will open one virtual machine on one page, and on a second one they will start copying up the same configurations. Instead of that, if they have this Terraform code, they can just put up the names, and everything will be created by themselves. Nothing they have to put it a configurations. Everything will be taken care by itself through the Terraform. So any repetition of work of creating up the resources, that will be helpful using up the Terraform.
Okay.
Okay. That's all from my side for today. Hopefully you liked it. It was informative for you.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can ping me separately.
Sure, Jatin. Thanks for the session. Thanks. Thanks. Jatin.
Thank you.
Hi, Ritik. Any
Yes.
further session or this is only for today?
This was for today. I will actually I was pretty busy. I will try to conduct one more session. If you have any specific requirement, you can mail it to Chavi. I will try to schedule one more from my busy time. I will try to get it.
Sure, sure.
But if
Please
possible, to set up the another session, please choose
we
the
can connect on
3 to
this session
4,
also. No?
3 to 4 or the noon timing, because the evening timing we have the shift, right? And it would be a very difficult for, I think, for everyone if they have shift.
Yeah, I understand that. Actually,
Means
it was
everyone
because of
have
my.
different.
Yeah, I understand it. Actually, it was because of my client calls. I chose this time. I will try to change it and get
5
it
to
some
6
other
is
time.
okay. 5 to 6 is okay
Yeah,
if
5 to
if
6
possible.
okay.
Yeah, even I have seen that in 5 to 6, crowd is very less. Last time when I conducted this session, Chavi might have recordings of that as well. I have given a session before as well for Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker, Ansible. So that in that time people were around 80 to 90, but today it is very less.
Yeah. Nitin, I also want to learn Ansible.
Recording is already there. You can check with Chavi if you want. We can have more sessions then.
Okay, okay. Sure.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you for the session. Yeah.
Thank you, Chetan. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Atul.
everyone.
Thank you for the session.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Chetan.
Bye.
बाबा पाइनएप्पल में काला नमक डाल दो तो ऐसे स्वर्ग की प्राप्ति होती है ना जिसका कोई हिसाब नहीं है। ऋतिक रोशन का भी करियर पूरा खत्म ही हो गया आजकल। उसके बाप भी नहीं बचा पाया, बस उसका बाप ही बचा पाता तो उसके घर की मूवीज ही करी है उसने। ये ऋतिक रोशन की
वो बोल रहा है कि हम लोगों ने बहुत यूनिक चीजें बनाई है।
कुछ यूनिक नहीं बनाई।
रशिया में तो फेल हुई।
क्या फेल हुए?
On Bollywood में someone had haven't taken such work.
ताज के ऊपर से एक फैंसी ड्राइव मार के राइट हमारे पीछे किसी को जाना ही था दैट्स व्हाई ताज तुम्हें ताज को होने वाली है दूसरा ताज से सारा टैक्टिक्स क्या है तुम्हारा मिशन एनिमी को अटैक करना या जॉबर्स को प्रोटेक्ट करना फिर जॉबर्स की प्रोटेक्शन के लिए एनिमी को हैंडल
आशुतोष ये तो पूरे है ना इसका पूरा ऑयल
करने से पहले दुश्मन अपनी एग्जैक्ट स्ट्रेंथ नहीं बताएगा आज तुमने अपना टीम को हरवाया कल अपने देश को हरवा देना जीरो मार्क्स एस्पायर को ऐसे
उसका आवाज जो कैसे बोलता था ये
ठीक होती है कोई मैच तो मैच नहीं होता आज फिर तुम्हारी एवरीथिंग वाज जॉब वाला गेट आज फिर तुम्हारी एवरीथिंग वाज जॉब वाला गेट The more command so the rescue package के लिए सके मैं आप सबको लेटेस्ट इंटेलिजेंस अपडेट देना चाहता हूँ ये है सही ना हमारी टॉप प्रायोरिटी
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. मेरी आइडेंटिटी की सीक्रेट है कि आपसे तो मैं पोस्ट ऑफिसर्स के साथ भी शेयर नहीं कर सकता, इसलिए मेरी पहचान पर ध्यान देना छोड़ो और मेरी इंफॉर्मेशन पर जैश कुछ बड़ा करना है, तरातारी से 200 किलो ऑडियंस का मजीद खान यूके का जाना माना कमांडर भी पक्का है, जिस वजह से इलाके में कई जगह स्लो कर लो, लेकिन उससे ज्यादा परेशानी की बात की है असफलता। जैश का वेस्टर्न एसेट इससे पहले अफगानिस्तान में और ये एक्सप्लोसिव्स में रिसेंटली इसे दौलतपुर के ट्रेनिंग सेंटर में देखा गया, ये साइन है कि वो इंडिया की तरफ आ रहा है, ISI का कोई बड़ा प्लान है। हमारे पास अभी अभी उन्होंने अपने 2 F-16 स्क्वाड्रन्स यूके के सामने घुस किए और ये है विंग कमांडर इमरान रसूल, उनका टॉप पायलट। ये रेड नोज के नाम से मशहूर है और वो इस वक्त पीओके में पोस्टेड है।
सर लगता है आपको नमूना की ट्रेनिंग कैसे करनी चाहिए
नहीं हो सीआरपीएफ की एक तभी रिइंफोर्समेंट आ रही सुन करने को कंट्रोल कर अब अपनी ट्रेनिंग जारी रख सकते हैं। Any questions?
नो थैंक यू हम जम्मू ट्रेनिंग के 10 मिनट लगेंगे मैं तुम्हारा वही वेस्ट करूँगा डिस्मिस सर आप हमारे पास पेरिस के एयरपोर्ट स्टेशन पर है
Brother, good journey. Can I help?
No. Yes, sir.
But I want to.
No.
Can I?
No.
Please.
की तो बंद है, ये रीच वाली